Guys, wait! Oh.
It was supposed to be just another quiet night in the Florida wilderness. The camper had set up for the evening, the fire glowing low, when something strange caught his eye near the edge of the camp. Just beyond the palms, half hidden in the shadows, stood something. At first it looked like part of the trees, until it moved. Dark, massive, and upright, it seemed to be watching. Some call it the skunk ape, Florida's version of Bigfoot. The figure didn't come closer, but the thick brush between them did little to hide its outline. The camper snapped a photo, heart pounding, knowing this wasn't something people would believe easily. Whatever it was, it's burned into memory. And into that picture. It was deep into the night on a quiet camping trip. The group had set up their tent in an open clearing, the only light coming from a small lantern inside. That's when they saw it.
Yo, what's...
Run! Run!
Guys, wait!
Run!
Oh.
A strange, humanoid figure moving just beyond the shadows. At first, it stood still, almost blending in with the darkness. But the moment it shifted, instinct took over. They bolted out of the tent, running into the night. When the person holding the camera finally turned back, the figure was there, framed in the glow of the tent light, tall, thin, unnaturally still. Whether it was a prank, a wild animal, or something far stranger, no one stayed long enough to find out. They told Alex camping would be fun. Fresh air, starry skies, and the peaceful sounds of nature. But on the second night, while recording the dark, quiet forest around him, that's when it happened. A blood-curdling scream ripped through the silence. It didn't sound like any animal Alex had ever heard. It was sharp, human-like, and it came from deep within the trees. The kind of sound that freezes you in place before your brain even catches up. Was it just some wild creature defending its territory? Or was there something else? Something watching from the shadows? Whatever it was, Alex knew one thing. This camping trip wasn't going to end the way it started. This person's friend just got back from a camping trip deep in the woods. You know, those kinds of places where it's pitch black at night, and even the wind sounds like it's whispering at you. They sent over 2 photos from the trip, and at first, nothing seemed weird. But then we noticed something. In the first photo, right in the upper right corner, there was a face, a pale, almost human face, just watching. But here's the thing. When we looked at the second photo, taken only moments later, that face was gone. No sign of it at all. Could it have been a trick of the light? Or was something or someone out there in the darkness, watching them? During a camping trip, this guy decided to take a walk down a narrow trail, alone. The plan? Just a quick stroll to find a quiet spot to smoke. Nothing strange, right? But here's where it gets unsettling. As he's heading down the trail, he notices something ahead. At first, it just looks like a cluster of leaves or shadows tangled in the trees. But the longer he stares, the more it seems like a figure, not moving. Just standing there, half hidden in the woods, watching. He's completely alone. At least that's what he thought. And the creepy part? He can't tell if it's even human. Was it just a trick of the light? Or was someone or something waiting on that trail? To this day, that image is burned into his mind. A camping trip that was supposed to be peaceful turned into a moment he'll never forget. It's the middle of last summer, deep in an Italian forest. One camper, let's call them the unlucky one, is fast asleep inside a tent. Not a cabin, not a camper van, just thin fabric between them and the unknown. In the middle of the night, the unlucky one wakes up and grabs their phone to record something strange. From the other side of the tent, there's a sound, slow, heavy, and rhythmic. A breathing noise. Not the wind, not a friend, and not the unlucky camper's breath. The kind of sound that makes your stomach drop because it's close. All through the video, that strange breathing keeps going. No footsteps, no rustling, just this steady, unnatural exhale. Like something was standing right outside the tent, waiting. And the creepiest part? Out there in the forest, in the dark, you can't see anything, but you can hear everything. In the quiet bushlands of southeast Queensland, there's a legend that still gives some folks chills. Locals whisper about a tiny Aboriginal spirit known as the Junjudi, said to hide among the thick trees and watch you from the shadows. Some swear they've seen its small figure darting between the leaves, while others insist it's nothing more than a strange piece of wood that somehow took the shape of something alive.
I think I used to bring a lantern for this, didn't I? Yeah, it broke. That's what I get, another lantern for doing exactly this.
Whether it's a trick of the eyes or a real spirit guarding the land, one thing's for sure. If you ever find yourself alone in the bush out here, you'll feel like you're being watched. A couple of buddies and this camper were out camping under the wide, star-filled skies of Utah. To kill time, the storyteller decided to snap a few long exposure shots. You know, the kind where the camera soaks in every bit of light and detail over several seconds. Everything seemed normal at first, just some cool streaks of light, the glow of the campfire, and the silhouettes of friends. But when the storyteller zoomed in on one of the photos, things got weird. There, right next to one of the campers, was a figure. Not just any figure. It looked like a hand was reaching out and touching them. The creepiest part? None of them saw anyone there in real life. With the naked eye, that spot was empty. It was like whatever it was only wanted to be seen after the moment had passed. Hidden in the pixels of a photograph. Imagine you're setting up your tent for the night. The birds are chirping, everything seems peaceful, and then you look up and see this thing. What appears to be a massive, twisted tree wrapped around a tree trunk. The bark has grown in such a strange way that it looks exactly like a giant snake or some mysterious forest monster, giving the tree the world's scariest hug. While camping in the middle of a quiet Indonesian village, the moon hangs high, the air is still, and the dead are close. It's a real tradition. In certain places, when someone passes away, their body isn't buried right away. Instead, it's wrapped tightly in white cloth, almost like a mummy, and left above ground. Sometimes for days, sometimes longer. Locals believe the spirit stays nearby, watching over loved ones. But as the night deepens, the thought lingers. Just a few feet away lies someone who has already crossed over. That's what it's like to camp among the dead. Instead of setting up your cozy tent on solid ground like most campers do, these daredevils have stretched colorful hammocks between ropes, hundreds and hundreds of feet above the ground. We're talking about sleeping in the air, suspended like they're floating in a dream, except this dream is very real. Now, the person who shared this amazing photo said something super honest. They mentioned that even though heights don't usually bother them, this particular adventure made their stomach do flip-flops. And honestly, can you blame them? Just imagine trying to fall asleep while swaying gently in the breeze, knowing that far, far below you is nothing but air and mountain peaks. While camping, this person woke up to something straight out of a creepy story. At first, everything seemed calm. The air was cool, the forest was quiet, and the tent felt safe. But then came a strange light tapping sound, like soft rain. Except there were no clouds in the sky. That's when the real shock hit. The entire outside of the tent was moving. Hundreds of tiny spiders crawling in every direction, their little legs glinting in the early morning light. It was like the tent had been wrapped in a living, crawling blanket. They weren't inside, yet. But it was clear they'd come from somewhere close by. Maybe a hidden nest disturbed in the night. Imagine stepping out and realizing you're surrounded, the ground and tent walls alive with movement. For this camper, that peaceful night in nature had suddenly turned into a skin-crawling moment they'd never forget. While hiking through one of the favorite spots, Buchanan Pass in the Indian Peaks Wilderness, not far from Estes Park and the Lions Boulder area, something strange happened. Out of nowhere, a massive knocking sound echoed through the forest, and I'm not talking about the soft tap-tap of a woodpecker. No, this was loud. Here's the weird part. There are plenty of animals out here, from woodpeckers to squirrels to elk. But this knocking? It didn't sound like any of them. It was deep, rhythmic, almost intentional. The longer she listened, the stranger it felt. Was it just a tree swaying and knocking against another? Is some large animal making its presence known? Or something else entirely? While camping, this person spotted something that made their stomach drop. Out in the middle of the forest, two masked men stood in the shadows, heavily armed, just playing around with their weapons like it was all some sick joke. It didn't feel random. It almost looked staged, like they wanted someone to notice them. Not taking any chances, the campers zipped the tent shut, stayed inside, and didn't make a sound for the rest of the day. Every rustle of leaves, every snapping twig outside made the silence inside feel heavier, and the thought kept creeping in. Were those masked men still out there, watching? In the summer of 2017, 30-year-old Ivan set out alone into the dense forests of Russia's Shatura district, an area known for its quiet lakes, tangled woods, and eerie silences. He never returned. When he missed his expected arrival home, his family sounded the alarm, prompting a search party to comb the forest for days. but the woods gave up no clues, no tracks, no gear, nothing. Eventually, the hunt was called off, and Ivan's disappearance slipped into the shadows of mystery. 2 years later, in 2019, another hiker wandered those same trails and stumbled upon something chilling. Half buried under a blanket of rotting leaves lay a human skeleton. The remains were soon confirmed to be Ivan. But it wasn't just the bones that were unsettling. Around the body and nearby trees were multiple sets of handcuffs, heavy chains, and padlocks. Even stranger, his tent sat not far from the grim discovery. Investigators floated the bizarre theory that Ivan may have been attempting a dangerous Houdini-style escape challenge, binding himself and trying to break free in isolation. One friend even admitted it sounded like something Ivan might do, recalling how he loved testing extreme survival skills. But others weren't convinced. Some believe Ivan wasn't playing a game at all, that he was murdered, and the macabre setup was staged to look like a tragic stunt gone wrong. To this day, his official cause of death remains a mystery, and the forest keeps its secrets. Sunshineable was out in the woods, filming a fun TikTok video to showcase her outfit, when something chilling happened.
Oh gosh, it's cold. The camera say I won't stay. Nope.
As she danced and twirled, her camera unknowingly captured a dark, shadowy figure lurking in the background, covered in black fur, watching her intently. Before she could even process what she'd seen, the figure quickly vanished into the trees. Panicking, Sunshineable snatched up her phone and bolted, heart racing. Some believe the mysterious figure could be a juvenile Bigfoot, while others think it's just someone in a costume playing a prank. Given Sunshineable's reputation for creating authentic, unstaged content, many are left wondering, is this an eerie encounter caught on camera, or just another trick of the woods? The truth remains a mystery. While hiking with their dog through a quiet forested trail, this person stumbled upon something downright chilling. A misty figure silently floating in the middle of a narrow cave. It wasn't moving, just hovering. No sound, no breeze, just that eerie presence staring back through the fog. Was it a spirit? A trick of the light? Or something far more sinister? What was that figure doing there? And why did it feel like it was waiting for them? This person was out on their usual walk. Nothing unusual, just a quiet route they pass daily, including a massive old tree they've walked by countless times. But last Thursday, something felt off. They suddenly heard a deep, low growling echo from the trees, followed by the rustling of thick bushes. That's when they spotted it. A massive dark figure, easily 7 to 8 feet tall, just standing there. As soon as they reached for their phone to snap a picture, the thing bolted. No warning, no hesitation. It was gone in a flash. Creepy, right? But here's where it gets even weirder. The very next day, this person returned to the same trail, hoping to catch another glimpse. Instead, they found the massive tree, the same one they always passed, completely bent and twisted as if something with immense force had mangled it overnight. There hadn't been a storm, no strong winds, nothing that could have done that. Was it a message? A warning? Could this be Bigfoot marking its territory? Or maybe something worse? What was that towering figure hiding in the shadows? Was it truly Bigfoot? Or something far more terrifying? This person was hiking deep in the wilds of West Virginia when they stumbled upon something downright chilling, a massive footprint, embedded in the dirt, far larger than any normal humans. They snapped a photo and sent it to me, clearly shaken. It wasn't just the size that was disturbing. It was the eerie stillness of the area, like the forest itself was holding its breath. What kind of creature could have left something like that behind? Is there something even more unexplainable roaming those woods? Let me know what you think in the comments. Was this just an elaborate prank? Or did this person accidentally cross paths with a living legend? While hiking on a quiet mountain trail for what seemed like a peaceful afternoon, until something darted across the path. A bobcat. It sprinted down the slope ahead, vanishing into the trees. Curious, they stopped, pulled out their phone, and started recording. But then, they heard it. A haunting sound echoes through the forest. At first, it faded into the distance, like whatever made it was moving away. But suddenly, it changed direction. The sound got louder, closer, and before they could make sense of it, the creature, whatever it was, turned back and started coming straight toward them. The woods went from silent to spine-tingling. While fishing in Brazil, a group of fishermen came across something truly bizarre. Something they'd never seen before. At first glance, they assumed it was just some trash, maybe scraps of fabric or floating plastic. But then it moved. One of the fishermen reached in and pulled out one of the strange creatures. What he held looked eerily like a bat, but far more unsettling. So what do you think? Did they discover something real? Or is this just another internet hoax? While riding a bike through a quiet trail, this biker spotted a person in the distance, crawling across the ground. At first, he thought it was an injured animal, but as he got closer, he realized the person was human, and moving in an unsettling, almost unnatural way. No words, no sound, just the scraping of limbs against dirt. Why was this person crawling on the floor? And more importantly, what happened to him? To this day, the biker still can't shake that image from my mind. A popular outdoor enthusiast and social media hiker has been found dead after vanishing in an Arizona park. 31-year-old Hannah Moody, who inspired over 40,000 Instagram followers with her breathtaking adventures in nature, was discovered near the gateway trailhead of the McDowell Sonoran Preserve in Scottsdale. Friends had reported her missing after she went silent, something unusual for someone always so present online. Authorities initially tried to track her location through her phone, but those efforts failed. A search team was launched, and it was a Maricopa County Sheriff's Office air unit that ultimately spotted her body, roughly 600 feet off the main trail. Police say there's no sign of foul play or trauma, though the medical examiner will determine her official cause of death. This tragic moment serves as a quiet reminder. Be here, in the now. Moody often shared how hiking helped her reconnect with the present, grounding her when life got noisy. She did it not just because she loved nature, but because it brought her peace. And now, the community she built is mourning her sudden loss. While hiking, this couple had a chilling close call with a bear that began following them up the trail.
He's following you, babe. Hey, bear! Holy he's following us.
Oh!
Hey!
Oh!
Hey!
Oh!
Go home!
Oh! Go!
Okay.
Okay, you guys go up there.
Oh, come on.
Don't run. Do not run.
Hey! Can we play dead now? Can we play dead?
Griffin, Walk faster, please. Hey, bear! Following
He's
us.
been following us up the trail. Has no intention of.
Hey, bear! Hey!
What?
Caught between fear and disbelief, they tried to stay calm, shouting, walking faster, and nervously asking if it was time to play dead. It turned out the bear had no intention to attack, but that didn't stop their adrenaline from spiking. While hiking near the railroad tracks in Mission Park, San Antonio, a man snapped a quick photo, but what he saw later left him speechless. When he reviewed the image, two mysterious figures appeared in the distance, standing eerily still. Locals have long whispered tales of ghostly children who push stalled cars off the tracks, but this was something entirely different. Confused and unsettled, unsure if he'd captured a trick of the light or something truly supernatural, he posted the photo online, and the internet hasn't stopped talking about it since. While a group of people were enjoying a casual swim, an unexpected guest slipped into the scene. Gliding just beneath the water's surface was a massive reptile. Moments later, it broke through the water, surfacing just feet away from the unsuspecting swimmers. Strangely, there was no screaming, no splashing, just stunned silence. Viewers who saw the footage initially feared the worst, assuming it was a deadly saltwater crocodile. But one eagle-eyed commenter clarified, this was an American crocodile, typically less aggressive than its fearsome cousins in Australia or Southeast Asia. Still, its eerie approach and unsettling proximity made the encounter spine-tingling. While out on a casual fishing trip, a Reddit user stumbled upon something downright bizarre and a little unsettling. Instead of finding a hermit crab nestled inside a seashell like usual, he spotted one that had made its home inside a plastic doll's head. Yeah, you read that right. Imagine walking along the beach and suddenly seeing a doll's head creeping toward you, eyes hollow, legs skittering. Not exactly your typical seaside stroll. It's the kind of thing that would make anyone take a few startled steps back. Creepy, but weirdly fascinating. Around 5 a.m., Lean stepped outside to take out the trash. As he turned back toward his secluded forest home, something near the window caught his eye. Curious and uneasy, he grabbed his camera to film until he realized he wasn't just imagining things. It was something terrifying.
5 de la mañana salí a tirar la basura y se escucha. ¿Qué querés, hijo de puta? ¿Qué mierda es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué carajo es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Es eso la concha de su madre? Hijo de puta.
Panic surged through Lean's chest as he bolted back inside. His heart pounded as he checked every room, every shadowy corner. But there was nothing. No trace of anyone. Whatever he saw had vanished, at least to the naked eye. Reddit user Rob Conan96 once shared a bone-chilling underwater clip that left viewers holding their breath. As he swam through the murky depths, the last thing he expected happened. A massive shark suddenly emerged from the shadows and bumped him right on the head. It was a heart-stopping moment that could have gone wrong, but luckily, he lived to tell the tale. While paying their respects at Gettysburg Cemetery, someone caught a strange movement behind a nearby tree. Curious, they snapped a quick photo, and what appeared in the image left them shaken. A shadowy figure seemed to be watching them, and the air suddenly felt heavy, almost like they weren't alone. Later, they showed the photo to a park ranger. He studied it for a moment, then said calmly, "That's a Confederate soldier on horseback." Had they captured one of Gettysburg's restless spirits still haunting the battlefield? While hiking on a fog-drenched October morning, this person had already driven past eerie graveyards and crumbling farmhouses, the kind of scenery ripped straight from a Stephen King novel. The narrow roads of those old New England towns whispered secrets as this person made their way to the trailhead, but nothing, not even the ghost town vibes, could have prepared this person for what they stumbled across in the woods. Just a few steps in, this person came face to face with an unsettling display tucked among the trees. Clothes hung weirdly. It wasn't clear what the custom was or why it was placed there, but one thing was certain. It sent a jolt straight through this person's chest. It was the kind of scene that makes you look over your shoulder and question whether you're truly alone in the woods. On their birthday in 2020, around 6:30 p.m., Reddit user Hello Imrani was walking through their parents' yard when something chilling happened. Near the edge of the driveway, just beyond the trees, they spotted a figure, someone or something pacing nervously, like it was agitated or waiting for something. Then, it stopped and turned. It stared directly at Ronnie. Startled but curious, Ronnie managed to snap 2 zoomed-in photos from about 100 to 150 feet away. But what stuck with them wasn't just the eerie timing or the way the figure moved. It was how deeply unnatural the entire moment felt. They combed through forums, explored theories, and tried to make sense of it all. But to this day, no one, not even Ronnie, can explain what they saw. On October 27, 2024, a man exploring an abandoned railway station stumbled upon something bone-chilling.
रात के 12 बज रहे हैं और आप लोग देख सकते हैं दूर दूर तो कोई नज़र नहीं आ रहा। इस रेलवे स्टेशन पे नज़र आ रही तो सिर्फ वो औरत। ये यहाँ पे देख सकते हो भाई, रात के 12 बजे ये औरत यहाँ पे क्या कर रही है। जैसा लोग बोलते थे कि भाई ये औरत नहीं, ये औरत की आत्मा है जो कि ट्रेन के आने का इंतज़ार करती रहते हैं और यहाँ ट्रेन निकलेगी उसके पीछे ये जाती है, पता नहीं क्या करना चाहती है। कई सारे लोगों को
Sitting motionless on a weathered bench was a pale woman, silent, eerily still. At first, he thought she was just another lost soul, until she vanished. When he glanced down to check his camera, she was right there. But when he looked up again, the bench was empty, gone. He swears she wasn't human, but a restless spirit trapped in time, forever waiting for trains that will never return. Locals believe she's the reason no one dares set foot there after dark. And now, so does he. A man got a motion alert from his backyard security cam in the middle of the night. Curious, he opened the footage. At first, everything seemed perfectly normal. The yard looked empty, quiet, still. But then he rewound the footage. And that's when things got weird. He noticed something unusual. Watch this spot right here.
You see this little orb right here.
Then you
watch. Babe. Look at that. No one's out back.
It just sits there too.
It does. It just sits right there.
And you can see the whole shadow, like a
That's
person.
nuts. I don't know how long it sits
Goes
there
away.
for. The orb goes away. Comes back. Now watch. The person's gonna disappear.
It's like they're just boom.
Boom. Gone.
Suddenly, a shadow appears out of nowhere. Boom. Clear as day. But there's no one there. Then, an orb. A small glowing light just hovering in the frame. Look at that, babe. No one's out back, but that orb is just sitting there. And it doesn't move. It just lingers. Moments later, the orb vanishes, then reappears. And just as suddenly, it's gone. Like it was never there. No footprints. No signs of anyone. Just a dark, shadowy figure and a mysterious orb caught on camera. So what exactly did he capture that night? Paranormal activity? A glitch in reality? Or something else entirely? A woman named Joey was walking home alone around 3 a.m. after a night of clubbing. She was drunk, exhausted, and just trying to make it back safely. That's when she heard it.
I don't know if you can hear that, but there's like a banging. Oh no.
Footsteps. They were coming from behind a nearby fence. At first, Joey thought someone was following her, but suddenly, the sound was right next to her. Oh no. Panic set in, and Joey sprinted the rest of the way home without looking back. So what was it? A spirit? A stalker? Or something not human? One night in Victoria, Australia, this woman and her husband were out for a quiet walk until a bone-chilling scream echoed from the trees nearby. The sound froze them in their tracks. Creeped out but curious, they searched for the source, but found nothing. Later, they uploaded the eerie audio online, asking for answers. Most people pointed to the brush-tailed possum, known for its downright terrifying screeches, especially when it's in a fight. But others weren't so sure. Was it just a wild animal? Or was something far more disturbing hiding in those woods that night? While hiking up Mount Shasta, a curious traveler struck up a playful conversation with a local tour guide and jokingly asked, "Ever seen Bigfoot up here?" The guide chuckled at first, but then his tone changed. Years ago, he said, he'd snapped a photo of a friend near the summit. Nothing strange at the time, until he looked at the picture later. In the background, partially hidden among the trees, was a shadowy figure with glowing eyes. Chills. The guide confessed that every time he's on that trail, he can't shake the feeling that something or someone is watching him. So, was it just an animal caught in the lens? Or did he unknowingly photograph the elusive legend of the forest? In April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason, who runs the channel Appy Mountain Trekkers, uploaded what initially seemed like a routine video, a solo overnight camping trip deep in the mountains. Jason's channel is all about the great outdoors, hiking, camping, and surviving off the land. Most of his uploads are peaceful, almost therapeutic. But this video, it took a chilling turn. The hike up was uneventful. Jason cheerfully filmed himself pitching his tent and starting a campfire as the sun dipped behind the trees.
Figured I'd take a break. Got about 3 hours of daylight left.
While waiting for nightfall, he tried his hand at spoon carving, a quiet, relaxing activity. But as the forest darkened, things began to feel off. That's when he first heard it, a strange sound echoing from the mountaintop.
Alright guys, I just want to give you a quick update. It's about 10 after 10. I laid down about 9 o'clock and I was trying to go to sleep. It took me a while and I was almost asleep, and sometime before 10 I was woke up by something I've never heard in my life. I heard like 4 quick, very loud, deep guttural calls on this ridge behind me, behind camp. There's like a dip on the other side, and it goes up to a higher ridge on this backside, and it sounded like it come from over there.
He brushed it off as a bird or maybe a small animal, but he admitted later it gave him pause. By 9 p.m., Jason turned off the camera and climbed into his tent for the night. But less than an hour later, something woke him up. A sound. Not just any sound, something guttural, unnatural. Hours passed. Then, around 1 a.m., he was awakened again, this time not by a distant call, but by the unmistakable sound of something circling his tent.
About 1 o'clock, I woke up again. I heard something circle my camp. You hear that?
As Jason swept his flashlight across the trees, you can just barely make out something in the bottom left corner of the screen. 2 glowing sets of eyes reflecting in the beam. They're low to the ground, unmoving, watching. While many animals' eyes reflect light at night, the sharp, fiery white glow suggests these could have belonged to wolves or coyotes. Domesticated dogs also produce white reflections, but the odds of a pet wandering the mountains at 1 a.m. are slim. If these were coyotes or wolves, especially if they had pups nearby, Jason was in danger. But here's the chilling part. Jason doesn't seem to notice the eyes at all. He never comments on them, never zooms in. He simply scans the area, then retreats into his tent and somehow manages to sleep through the night. The next morning, he filmed a short update before heading back down the mountain, but not once did he mention the eyes his camera had caught watching him. To this day, there has been no follow-up on the incident, no explanation. Just one eerie video, and a sense that Jason might not have been alone out there in the woods. While driving in the woods, this woman had a terrifying encounter that they'll never forget.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, no, fuck that.
Out of nowhere, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the trees, so loud, so unnatural, it froze them in place. At first they thought maybe it was just an animal, but the longer they listened, the more it sounded like something else, something wrong. The woman was completely alone, with no cell signal, no one around for miles, just the dark woods, and that scream. So, who or what was making that sound? Could it have been a wild animal? Or was it something far more sinister lurking in the shadows? About 17 years ago, a woman snapped a photo of her 2 young nieces playing near their countryside home. At first glance, everything seemed perfectly normal, just a sweet memory captured on camera. But when she looked closer, something chilling stood out. In the background, near the edge of the woods, was the dark silhouette of a person. The strange part? That spot was just an open field, part of their private property. No one should have been there. To even reach that area, someone would have had to pass through her house or cross a field full of cows. Yet, there was no sign of anyone that day. To this day, no one can explain who or what was standing there. It was July 2023, and the scene was their parents' house, a cozy, familiar spot where the whole family often gathered. That day, most of them were inside helping with newborn twins. while the sister and her fiancé stepped outside to tidy up the backyard. She casually snapped a few photos to track their progress, expecting nothing more than shots of her fiancé near the picnic table. But one image showed something she hadn't seen in real life, a shadowy figure moving through the garden. There were no neighbors around, no pets, no one else is outside, just them. Since that eerie moment, they've installed security cameras across the property, but in all the time since, nothing like it has ever happened again. Not a single unexplained thing. So what exactly did she capture that day? 2 years after purchasing a quiet cabin deep in the woods, the homeowner finally decided to check out the attic storage, an area they had ignored since move-in. Pushing aside dusty old boxes, they stumbled upon something unsettling. Strange symbols covered the walls, not random doodles or innocent markings. These were precise, ritualistic, almost ceremonial. It felt like something straight out of a horror film. Had the previous owners been involved in black magic? Or worse, part of some hidden cult? Looking back, they couldn't help but wonder, how did they miss this before buying the place? Years ago, a Reddit user shared a bone-chilling memory from their childhood home. An old house built in the 1860s, hidden deep in the woods and eerily positioned right across from a graveyard. One quiet afternoon, while alone in the house, their mother spotted something strange in the window. Acting fast, she grabbed a camera and snapped a photo. Later, she showed it to her husband. He had once stood in that very spot, so they compared the images. He's 6'2", but whatever appeared in the photo was even taller. It wasn't him, and no one else should have been there. With the house's haunted history and a cemetery just steps away, one haunting question remains. Who or what was standing in that window? Reddit user Strange Sandwich 28 shared a chilling tale about a mysterious house his grandfather built back in 1945 in Hagerstown, Maryland. The home was constructed using materials salvaged from a demolished church, an eerie origin that only adds to its haunted reputation, passed down through generations of family stories. When he was around 7, Strange Sandwich 28 visited his grandmother with his parents. During their trip, they decided to walk over to the old, abandoned house nearby. As they approached, his mother suddenly froze. She saw movement in one of the windows, even though no one was supposed to be inside. His father, an amateur photographer, quickly snapped a few pictures. But it wasn't until the film was developed that the true horror revealed itself. One of the windows showed something or someone that couldn't possibly have been there. To this day, what they captured remains a bone-chilling mystery. Paula Miranda Rosa, a 31-year-old woman from Florida, vanished under chillingly mysterious circumstances after a visit to Wekiwa Springs State Park near Orlando. Her car was found abandoned and unlocked in the park's lot, with her phone, wallet, and even her shoes still inside. It was as if she'd simply walked off into the wilderness and vanished. Then came a haunting clue. Hikers in the area captured video and photos of a woman swimming alone in the alligator-infested Wekiva River. Paola's family confirmed it was her. But what puzzled everyone was why she would willingly enter such dangerous waters alone, something her loved ones insisted she would never do. Despite massive search efforts, Paula was never found. No signs of struggle, no definitive answers, just silence. Authorities have ruled out foul play, but her disappearance remains one of Florida's most unsettling unsolved cases. This guy was just waiting for his DoorDash delivery, nothing out of the ordinary, until he heard a knock at the door. But when he checked, there was no food, no delivery, just this.
Come on. Okay. Yes, I'm currently in there.
shadowy figure was standing dead still by a tree in the distance, watching him. It didn't move. It didn't speak. It just stared. Frozen with fear, he quickly pulled out his phone to record it, then rushed to hide in the bathroom. Eventually, the figure vanished into the night. That's when he called a friend to come pick him up. Would you have opened the door? It was supposed to be a fun 4th of July camping trip. Just 5 close friends spending the night by a quiet, secluded lake. Being from Alaska, they were no strangers to the eerie stillness of the woods or the occasional unsettling sound in the dark. The night was filled with fireworks, laughter, and snapshots by the water. But everything changed when they looked back at one of the photos. A pale, shadowy figure lurked just behind them. The person who took the picture swore no one else was there. What's even more chilling? The lake has a sinister reputation. Hauntings, drownings, and people who vanished without a trace. So who or what was in that photo? And what happened by that lake? A group of young women was enjoying a carefree day by the waterfall, soaking in the sun and serenity. 2 of them waded into the water for a quick dip, laughing and splashing, completely unaware of the danger lurking above. Then, out of nowhere, disaster struck. A deafening rumble echoed through the canyon as a sudden rock slide tore down the cliffside. Massive boulders crashed into the water just feet away from them. It could have been a tragedy, but miraculously, not a single one was harmed. Soaked and shaken, they made it out alive, completely untouched by the chaos that nearly claimed them. While combing through footage from his trail cam, a Virginia hunter discovered something chilling and eerie, an almost translucent figure that resembles either a ghostly child or some unknown creature stalking the forest. Some skeptics chalk it up to moonlight playing tricks on the lens, but others? They're not so sure. Is this spine-tingling image actual proof of the paranormal? Or just a creepy coincidence captured at the perfect moment? It was the morning of May 9th, 2025. A group of friends hit the road, ready for what was supposed to be a fun, laid-back trip. But just a few miles in, they noticed something strange. A car was tailing them, closely. Trying to be courteous, the driver pulled over to let it pass. Big mistake.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Out of nowhere, the trailing car didn't pass. It pounced. A textbook ambush. Fast, aggressive, and terrifying. But this driver didn't panic. He reacted instantly, swerving out of the trap and saving everyone in the car. The entire incident was caught on a dash cam and handed over to the police. It provided investigators with a crucial lead, but as of July 10th, the suspects are still at large. It was a perfect sunny day by a dam in Brazil, laughter, splashing, and good vibes all around. But in an instant, everything changed.
Sai da água! Sai da água, sai da água! Vai, vai, vai! Sai da água! Todo mundo aqui, ó! Sai da água! Socorro! 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 Chega! Chega ligeiro! Chega! Chega!
Out of nowhere, the calm water twisted into chaos as a whirlpool suddenly formed and began racing toward the unsuspecting swimmers. Panic set in. People scrambled to get out. Miraculously, no one was injured. But the terror in that moment, real. The driver was cruising down a quiet road when he spotted what looked like a harmless shadow from a tree. Without a second thought, he kept going, only to realize too late that it wasn't a shadow at all. It was a massive crater. The car plunged in, crashing hard. The vehicle was wrecked, but miraculously, everyone walked away unscathed. Still, the shock, real. While trying to outrun a raging wildfire in Chile, a hiker caught something straight out of a disaster movie. A towering fire tornado ripping through the landscape. Unlike regular tornadoes formed by thunderstorms, fire tornadoes are spinning infernos of flame, smoke, ash, and debris. They form when extreme heat from the wildfire sends scorching air skyward, creating a vacuum that pulls in cooler air from below. If the wind and terrain align just right, the incoming air starts to spin rapidly. Some of these fiery monsters have clocked winds of over 140 miles per hour. Thankfully, the hiker made it out just in time, shaken, safe, and with jaw-dropping footage to prove it. That night, as they reviewed the pictures back at home, one friend's sister noticed something that made her blood run cold. In the background of their group photo was a shadowy figure wearing a hat, seemingly strolling right past them. The strange part? No one had seen anyone near them when the photo was taken. Terrified, she demanded they leave immediately. And when she showed the picture to the rest of the group, their excitement quickly turned to dread. From that night on, they made a pact. No more ghost tours. Was it just a random person they somehow didn't notice? Or did they unknowingly capture something far more chilling, something not meant to be seen? While hiking deep through a shadowy wooded trail near an old Massachusetts estate, this person stumbled upon something straight out of a nightmare. Standing silently among the trees were life-sized white statues, eerily human, cloaked in ghostly robes, and completely faceless. It looked like a haunting ritual frozen in time. But here's the twist. It turned out to be an outdoor art exhibit at the Mount, the historic home of author Edith Wharton. Still, for those first few chilling moments, it felt like they'd walked straight into a horror movie. Luckily, this time, the fear was all in their head. While walking their dog through a quiet, empty park, someone made a chilling discovery. Lying beneath a tree was a small handmade doll, its fabric body sealed with what appeared to be melted candle wax. Strands of real human hair were stitched into its head, and gripped tightly in its stiff little hands was a torn piece of paper. On it, one word, Christopher, scrawled in frantic handwriting. It didn't feel like trash or a prank. The way it was placed, so deliberate, it felt like a curse. Like someone was targeting Christopher, and whatever this was, it had already begun. Josh and his grandparents lived a peaceful, secluded life deep in the Appalachian Mountains, until the neighbors started getting weird. They began trespassing without a word, crossing fences like they weren't even there, completely ignoring boundaries and warnings. The strange behavior escalated fast. Creaking footsteps at night, eerie figures lurking just beyond the tree line. Josh reported it all to the sheriff, but nothing changed. So, he set up hidden cameras, determined to uncover the truth. But the footage? It didn't bring answers, only more disturbing questions. What had gotten into these people? And worse, was it even still them? A Reddit user named Spawnkill stumbled upon something chilling outside their cabin. A bunch of throwing knives scattered across the front yard. No note, no explanation, just cold steel lying in the grass. Were they left as a warning, a sick prank, or something far more sinister? One thing's for sure, Throwing knives don't just appear out of nowhere, and not like this. While visiting his aunt's home in Malaysia, a Reddit user stumbled upon an old photograph hidden high on a dusty shelf, one he barely noticed as a kid. He'd always assumed it was just a peaceful landscape from his late uncle's travels in southern China. But this time, something felt off. There, looming in the distance of the photo, was a dark, human-like figure. At first, he brushed it off, maybe a shadow, or just his eyes playing tricks on him. But after digging up other photos taken from the same spot, the figure was completely absent. No shadow, no shape, nothing. So now he's left wondering, what exactly did his uncle capture that day? A man had slipped into the raging sea near Rabat, Morocco, thrashing against waves that tossed him like a rag doll. Onlookers crowded the shore, desperately reaching out with belts and jackets, trying to save him from the unforgiving current. Then, without hesitation, one man dove in. He reached the drowning victim just as a massive wave crashed over them. For a terrifying moment, both disappeared beneath the churning foam. But then, against all odds, they surfaced. With help from the crowd, both men were pulled to safety, gasping for air. 1 second slower, one slip in timing, and this could have ended in tragedy. While exploring Hobson's Lake Trail in Halifax, a Redditor made a chilling discovery deep in the woods. An old abandoned wooden cabin, hidden beneath layers of overgrowth. But what truly sent shivers down their spine wasn't the structure itself, it was what was inside. Hanging eerily behind a dusty window was a headless doll, suspended from a rusty chain. No movement, no signs of anyone around, just silence, and that disturbing image. They snapped a quick photo and got out fast. Was it a twisted prank? Or something left behind with a darker story? Either way, it's the kind of thing that haunts your thoughts long after you've left the forest. This user visited the infamous Skirrid Inn, one of the oldest pubs in Wales, which is rumored to be seriously haunted. While he was there, he snapped a couple of photos just seconds apart. But here's the creepy part. In the bottom right window, there's what looks like a face staring back at him right up in the top left corner of that window pane. At first, he thought it might just be a reflection or some trick of the light, but honestly, it gives some chills. Who or what could that shadowy figure be? Is it just a harmless reflection, or something far more sinister watching from the darkness? Let me know what you think, because this one has me spooked. Back in September 2023, this Reddit user was relaxing in the park, snapping a few sunset photos, nothing unusual. But later, while scrolling through them, he noticed something terrifying. In one photo, right in the middle of the field, this person was just standing there, gray, still, staring straight at him. He didn't remember anyone being out there, and in every other photo taken seconds apart, the figure's completely gone. No trace, no movement, just that one shot. It didn't look fully human either, more like a spirit, maybe even a jinn. To this day, he has no idea of what he captured. His eerie photo was taken by a Reddit user's mother-in-law during a quiet walk in Cornwall. She claims and insists to this day that she was completely alone on the path, no one in sight. But when she looked back at the picture she had snapped, there it was, a figure, standing motionless, right in front of her. She swears there was no one there, no footsteps, no rustling, no shadow, just empty silence. And yet, The image clearly shows someone or something. No explanation, no answers. Could it be a glitch with the camera? A trick of the light? Or is it something far more chilling? Who or what was standing there in the path that day? Some Reddit users say it looks like a ghost. Others think it's something darker. One thing's for sure, this is the kind of photo you keep returning to because it gets creepier the more you look at it. So, what do you see? And more importantly, would you walk that path alone? This user recently posted a photo taken by her brother and his friend on a seemingly ordinary camping trip. At first glance, the image looks completely normal, just a typical snapshot of the woods. But look a little closer, and you'll notice something chilling. On the right side, half lost in the shadows, a ghostly face begins to emerge. It's faint, almost hidden, blending seamlessly with the darkness. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Is it just a trick of the light? A natural formation? Or could it be something far more sinister lurking in the trees? This woman shared jaw-dropping footage of a terrifyingly close call. Her little sister was sitting on the back patio of their cabin, completely absorbed in her phone, unaware of the danger creeping up behind her. A bear, likely drawn in by the scent of food or sheer curiosity, slowly approached and sniffed around her leg. At one point, its nose even touched her foot. Incredibly, she didn't flinch, still glued to her screen, blissfully unaware of just how close she came to a wild encounter. While camping in Texas, a family decided to check out a nearby haunted house, one that already had a dark reputation after someone reportedly died there years ago. Sitting safely in their car, they watched the eerie, abandoned structure. But then, something chilling happened.
Whether it's gonna go in your house. The LS paranormal activity is under, so it's fake. But it can't come out. Whoa!
They caught this on camera. Out of nowhere, what appears to be a small hand reaches out from the window. Locals say ghostly figures of children are often seen peering from the windows and lurking near the doors of this house, fueling the belief that it's truly haunted. In January 2013, someone reviewing their trail cam footage stumbled upon something downright chilling. The camera had picked up a figure that looked eerily like an extraterrestrial being, though others argue it might have been a ghost or some kind of unknown creature. Sure, it could have been a weirdly shaped bush or a regular animal caught at a strange angle, but the way it moved and how it seemed to stare straight into the camera was anything but normal. Two tourists on vacation in Mexico were just trying to find their way to their Airbnb when things took a terrifying turn. Suddenly, they were stopped by a group of armed men whom they believed may have been cartel members. What happened next was caught on video, and it's nothing short of chilling.
Oh my God, they have guns. Jesus.
Go.
No, please. What? Please. Please, what? Please, what? No, Espanol, please. We're just...
No problem.
Please.
You will.
Por favor.
¿Dónde vas?
Sí, han perdido los chavos. Please.
No problem, okay?
About to pass out.
No problem.
Logan, don't. It's okay.
No problem, okay? What? You will.
Can we go?
Well done.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Una foto de...
Están perdidos.
Please, please,
Yeah,
please.
no, okay. Hey, no. Sí.
No pasa nada, no pasa nada, no pasa nada.
Tensions were sky high as the tourists pleaded for their lives, trying to explain they meant no harm. "We're just trying to get to Cancun," one of them says, voice trembling. The armed men demand their names. "Aaron, Philip," they respond, barely able to speak through the fear. Miraculously, the confrontation ends without violence. Shaken but unharmed, the two manage to walk away. But the trauma of staring death in the face, that's something they'll never forget. A spine-tingling photo recently surfaced on Reddit, capturing what appears to be a man unknowingly followed by a shadowy figure deep in a forest. To broad daylight only adds to the eeriness. Some viewers are convinced it's the infamous Dog Man, a terrifying cryptid said to have the body of a man and the head of a canine. Others claim it could be a large bear caught at just the right angle to resemble something far more sinister. Whatever it is, one thing's for sure, it's nightmare fuel. This eerie footage was posted online with the chilling caption, "Ghosts." The image shows a group of white-gowned figures standing eerily still in the woods. But the real kicker? Zoom in, and one of them appears to be missing its head. Some believe this could be evidence of a cult, but considering the isolated location and the fact that it was only captured in a single frame, it's hard to believe these were actual people. One day, a woman named Beth spotted something strange deep in the woods. A dark, shadowy figure was pacing the same path, as if trapped in some invisible loop.
There it is.
It looked like it had materialized out of nowhere, and it had been moving that way for hours. Even stranger? The moment anyone tried to get closer, the figure vanished. But the second they backed away, it would reappear, only ever visible from a distance. Some skeptics claimed it was just a shadow from a nearby object, but that explanation falls apart when you consider the sun's constantly shifting angle. Others suggested it might be a prank. But who would go to such lengths for so long just to pull one over on random hikers? Whatever it was, Beth couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't meant to see it. Reddit user Responsible Mango recently shared a chilling experience from a trip to their grandfather's remote cabin. One night, while they were sitting around the campfire, an eerie sound pierced the stillness of the woods. Something neither she nor her grandfather had ever heard before. The unsettling noise has sparked speculation online. Some believe it could be the work of skinwalkers, the mysterious shapeshifters of native legend. Others point to a more grounded explanation: a cougar, known to make screams that are disturbingly human-like. Either way, the moment was enough to send shivers down their spines. While hiking near a swamp, a man caught sight of something deeply unsettling beneath the murky water. At first glance, it looked like the head of a baby submerged in the mud. Heart pounding, he took a closer look only to realize it was just a doll. But that discovery didn't bring much relief. Instead, it sparked a wave of eerie questions. Who left it there? Was it simply thrown away? Or was it placed there for a more disturbing reason? Some even wonder, could it be haunted? Reddit user WitchBaby69 made a chilling discovery by the river. A waterlogged, three-faced doll that looked like it had a story to tell. Or maybe a curse to share. On a drunken impulse, she brought the eerie toy home, thinking it would make for an interesting restoration project. Curious and a little creeped out, she turned to Reddit for advice on how to clean it up. But instead of helpful tips, she was met with urgent warnings. Commenters claimed the doll could be haunted and urged her to return it immediately before she unleashed something sinister. Was it just a forgotten, creepy old toy? Or had she unknowingly welcomed a dark presence into her home? While reviewing footage from a fishing trip earlier that day, a man caught something chilling, something he hadn't noticed at the time. But then, faintly in the background, came a whisper he never heard while out there.
I'll tell you what, that was the grossest, putting that other one on.
I'm recording.
He was completely alone. No one else is around. The voice? It wasn't his. And it wasn't part of nature. Though he's never been the type to believe in the paranormal, this one moment left him shaken. Because no matter how many times he replays the video, he still can't explain what he heard. On November 6, 2015, a tragic incident unfolded aboard Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas near Nassau, Bahamas. During a heated argument with the ship's crew, a man fell overboard while the ship was en route to its next destination. Tensions ran high as the confrontation escalated, voices raised, hands grabbed, and chaos broke out.
Stop yelling! Let them work!
Keep still! Don't move! Don't be a hold on your head! You don't touch me! Because of you this happened, because I stepped out the door. Let go until he's on board. Until he's on board, I'm not going anywhere. Let go of me! Let go! Get up! Get up! I'm not going anywhere until he's on board.
Passengers watched in shock as the man was pushed toward the ship's edge. Despite frantic attempts to throw a life ring, it was too late. The U.S. Coast Guard launched a massive search spanning 80 nautical miles northeast of Mayaguana, Bahamas. But heartbreakingly, his body was never found. What made this tragedy even more disturbing was what followed. The man's husband filed a lawsuit against Royal Caribbean, accusing the crew of homophobic harassment that contributed to the distress leading to the fall. According to the lawsuit, staff members taunted the couple relentlessly, turning what should have been a joyful vacation into a nightmare. This wasn't an isolated incident. Previous overboard tragedies had already cast a shadow over the cruise line, making this heartbreaking story just one chapter in a troubling pattern. A dock builder in New York made a chilling discovery. A weathered, broken wooden statue drifting in the Hudson River. Almost immediately, rumors began to swirl. Some claimed it resembled Pazuzu, the terrifying Mesopotamian demon famously brought to life in The Exorcist. Others warned it might be haunted, thrown into the river for a reason, and urged that it be returned before anything strange unfolds. Could this mysterious statue be harboring something sinister? This fisherman proves exactly why you should always check the river before diving in. As he splashes the water with his rod, a massive crocodile suddenly emerges. Luckily, he spotted it just in time, but imagine the shock of jumping into that river for a swim without knowing what's lurking beneath the surface.